If your company's insolvent and someone tells you that they're going to buy it for £1, take the debt, you can start again and we'll negotiate everything down the line quietly, you need to run a mile, because the risk is not just financial, it's personal to you, it's illegal, and it can follow you for years. Now, this is not a rant, it is a reality check, and I hope you are listening. Now, I know why you are vulnerable, right? I understand why these schemes may sound appealing. You've got hundreds of thousands of pounds of unsecured debt in your business. You've signed personal guarantees. You've got HMRC breathing down your neck. You've got creditors ringing and turning up. You're running out of money every month, okay? And all you want is some relief. You don't want to go into liquidation or insolvency. You don't want anyone to know about it. You don't want anyone investigating your conduct. You don't want the stress. You want a clean restart. And if someone packages that neatly to you, I get it. It's tempting. But insolvency law does not bend because a structure sounds creative, okay? And there is a big, big problem with this. We'll acquire your business and you can move on the model. And I'm going to strip it down for you. If a company is insolvent, right, all that means is you can't pay your debts when they fall due. Your liabilities are more than your assets. The directors, so you, the director's duties shift. You must act in the interests of the creditors of the company. That is not optional, it's the law. Now, the first red flag for me with these schemes, if the proposal involves transferring trade to a new company, moving stock for undervalue, renaming the old company, leaving debt behind, and the old company has no intention of trading on, okay, even though you've been acquired, ask yourself this question, right? Are creditors being treated fairly? They're not. Here's the reality. If the old company has got no income and it has no intention of trading, no working capital, no business left, how does it repay its creditors? Well, it doesn't, does it? Okay? And if it doesn't, that means liquidation becomes inevitable. So you have paid a large fee to delay the same outcome. Because this is the bit that people don't get. You're getting approached. Well, listen, we'll acquire your company for £1. But you have got to pay this acquirer between 5 and 30 grand. Listen, come on. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. By the way, if you've been approached by this, or you're thinking of doing this, basically selling your debt-ridden company so you can walk off into the sunshine, but you've got to pay them between 5 and 30 grand, do yourself a favour, go into the comment section, click that link. One of my team will call you today and go through your actual options. I mean, let's talk about personal guarantees, okay? Even if your unsecured creditors are negotiated with, and they won't be, if you've got a personal guarantee, you're going to get pursued personally. They'll ignore the company structure. They'll enforce security against the person who's given it. So, listen, company debts might stay with the company, but a PG will follow the director around. And any model that suggests that the two are easily bundled together should raise alarms. It's nonsense. I've been privy to an email sent to one of these, and dear God, the director we're talking to seriously considering it. And this company, this acquirer, basically wants 30 grand, and they're saying that they'll deal with the personal guarantees as well. Listen, them personal guarantees are ultimately going to fall on the person that signed the personal guarantee. But if they go with this, they're going to be 30 grand lighter. Because, listen, the truth is, PGs you can negotiate with, but it works best when you're transparent with the person that you've signed a personal guarantee. You know, it's better when you deal with this head on and the creditors understand the process. Listen, creditors understand liquidation. They understand what happens. They understand the process. People do not understand or trust these restructuring models that have come up in the last sort of 18 months. We've got another big problem is the stock. And this is where directors think like they're being clever. And by the way, I'm here for the director. Director first. I'm on your side. But I'm here to tell you when you're doing something wrong as well. If your stock is worth 50 grand, right, and you're being told you can buy it back for 2 grand, you think that's a win. But it isn't. Because if the company's insolvent and you nick the assets out the back door, okay, without them being properly valued, well, it's a transaction under value. It's not fair to creditors. Now, a liquidation, which is going to happen at some stage down the line, and it'll probably be with the official receiver, because these schemes, I think they rely on people, on the slowness of the system. Because eventually, if nothing happens, one of your creditors will wind the company up, and the official receiver is going to get in the seat, and they're going to look at what's been going on. They're going to see that a sale under value has happened, a transaction under value, and they're going to challenge it. They're going to reverse the transaction and they will file a personal claim against you. There'll be allegations of misfeasance. Director disqualification could come. So, okay, you might get a bit of short-term game, a bit of short-term breathing space, but this is definitely going to bite you on the arse down the line. And here's the other bit, like, there's an issue, like, they're telling you can set up a new co and your old co's still live, all right? So if you set up a new co and you move all the clients over to it, you can continue trading in the new co while this old company's insolvent, while this old company's creditors are unpaid. You create suspicion because creditors are going to ask, well, what's value's been moved to this new co? Why has there not been an insolvency, a liquidation, administration? What's happened to the assets of old co? Where have they gone? Why wasn't this process transparent? Guess what? People don't like liquidation. Creditors do not like not getting paid in insolvencies. But guess what? At least a liquidation or an administration is transparent. Listen, this is what a proper route looks like. And I want me to be really clear with you. If your company is insolvent and the underlying business works, okay, you've got parts of this business that are valuable, okay, there is a proper way to reset and move on. But it looks like this. You enter into a formal insolvency process with a licensed insolvency practitioner. That could be liquidation, it could be administration. The assets can be valued by an independent agent and you will still pay for those assets, in my belief, a lot less than perhaps what they're really worth on the open market. Any asset sales transparent. There's clear disclosure. Creditors are treated properly in order of importance. There's a lawful new co and that's bought the assets in a transparent way and they paid fair market value for them. That process is defensible. These quiet, dodgy restructures aren't. And then there's the regulation issue. I've told you you've got to use a licensed insolvency practitioner for an insolvency process. By the way, I'm not one. I'm always very transparent. I'm not an insolvency practitioner. I have never sat the exam. Because what I do is I advise you, the director. I don't teach you how to break rules. I don't teach you how to do anything dodgily. I tell you exactly what your options are. Find out what you're looking for and can you get from A to B legally, okay? I work with loads of insolvency practitioners that need to be used for insolvencies because they've got a heck of a lot of regulation around them. They are accountable. They have a lot of compliance and governance over them. They can be held personally liable for conduct. And if somebody is offering you a workaround, it's not regulated, not accountable, You're going to ask yourself, who carries that risk if it goes wrong? And the answer is going to be you. And the hardest truth to get your head around is sometimes the cleanest, safest and cheapest route is a formal insolvency process. Not because it's dramatic, because it is the right thing to do. It shows that you're acting responsibly. It protects you as a director. And it ends any uncertainty. And if you do it properly, it can avoid any future allegations. Delay doesn't protect you, compliance does. And this is not about attacking any particular company. I'm not naming names here. It's about warning you guys and girls, the directors, if a proposal sounds like no insolvency, no scrutiny, keep the assets, walk off into the sunset, drop the debt, run a mile. Or at least give it a proper legal review before you sign anything. Because once you do this, it's very hard to go back. You can't undo it easily. So if you're a director, we've got lots of unsecured debt, you've signed PGs, you've got HMRC pressure, and you're considering one of these restructuring models, please speak to us before you commit. We'll review what you're being proposed. We will get an opinion from an insolvency practitioner. We'll get an opinion from a solicitor. And we'll compare it to a formal insolvency process. So listen, there are no shortcuts in insolvency. There are structured exits. And the safest one is the one you can defend in a few years' time, okay? So I hope you found this video useful. If you want to find out more about pre-packs, which is a legal structured process, go and watch that video there. It'll tell you everything about pre-pack admin, pre-pack liquidation, about buying assets, about getting assets valued. Thanks for your time.